Hello, my name is Ice Warrior, and this is a part 1 out of a 3-part series on how to become a better pilot at Heroes and Generals. If you're a new pilot, I recommend checking Old Man Smithers' flying tutorials on YouTube, links below. I'm a veteran pilot in Heroes and Generals with over 300 hours flown, mostly in the BF 109. As previously mentioned, there will be 3 parts. First part mainly focuses on one-on-one combat, whereas the second part goes to group and group fighting, and the third part will concentrate on air-to-ground attack. There is also, in the future, going to be parts about fighting against HE opponent and against enemy who outnumbers you. As a preview, you now see the end result of the battle: 14 air victories and 10 tanks destroyed. Although the result was poor, the match showed 3 very different kinds of combat you might end up in. So, without further ado, 1v1 combat, Lightning against BF 109 in Mountainton Assault while defending 24 spawns both sides. Alright, so we are already in 30 minutes of the battle we just joined, and we will get the instantly enemy contact here. You will see on the bottom left corner, you should see a flash of BF 109 getting past there. There he goes. And now he starts shooting. So what we do here is something that you should not take any kind of lectures from, other than it sucks. So what happened there was a hard pull after being surprised, but instead of pulling up with a corner, we only showed our largest surface area and made him basically an easy kill. Of course, he did really well by following and getting all the rounds in the target, so all credits to him, of course. Another big thing is, of course, if you have a situation where you're being camped, especially in a defense mission, you have the luxury of choosing where to spawn. There's 2 spawning areas. The other one comes from the Alpha line, east of Alpha actually, and then the other one is north of Echo line, which is both very good spawns as they are not usually camped here. As you saw, guy was after a paraplane. We get an easy kill because he was basically just showing his ass and then started to run away instead of actually trying to turn and fight. This is a very common mistake by although I won't claim him as a new pilot, but this is a very common mistake by many players, that instead of fighting, turn and fight, they will try to run. This is usually only available for the Lightning, as it has the 5-7% more speed. But it's too insignificant most of the time, but it's still there. A short thing, you also saw the bombing of the tank, but we will come that in the part 3 more. Now I'm just pulling back and letting the BF 109 pilot spawn again. I don't usually go around D1 and start shooting them down. I'm just, for the purpose of this film, I'm pulling far back and see if I can get some cool fights. And there you go, he found me again, and there you go. So I pulled again back, down, and then I turned again. So he got smaller surface areas to shoot at, and he only hit with one of his cannons, and not even with the MG. So what we got here was only half of the health gone, and with his overextending, I will get an easy kill here. Short burst with the APCR, AP rounds from the MG, of course. Easy kill. There you go. Fast landing. We repair the plane before he spawns back, hopefully, depending how long it takes. Around half health, so we have to actually do this wrenching for a while. It's a no problemo, because he's in the end coming from Delta line. Even if he knows we have landed here, it takes him way too long to get back here. But just as a precautionary action, we will take a low landing takeoff. So we will stick to the ground and not take off too far away. We try to avoid getting above the trees here, so we don't expose the silhouette if he's flying on the treetop level. And then, when we are getting enough speed, let's turn around and head towards the battle zone. We can only assume that he's already there, and he have already made the mistake once of going after the paraplane, so it's worth going to check out if he's there. And there you go, you can see the little dot there. And now I'm just going a little fancy. This is probably not needed, but I think I always like to go around the ground level. I think it kind of brings the coolness factor on the game. And here we just follow him through. We see him flying over the mountains, and we can only assume he turns left. If he would have noticed us, he would have probably turned right, because there's enough forest to actually hide behind. But here we can obviously see he's not even paying any attention to us. There you go. And now we come actually to another big problem with the piloting way. Of course, he might be a new guy. His rank is 1, so it's bot rank, bot academy trained pilot. But he still behaves very professionally, which is very nice to see, even from a low rank. Maybe it's his second account, or could be something, or he's just naturally a very good player. I never know. But there was a big problem of slowing down before the fight. So only plane that is even considering allowed to slow down is the Lightning. Lightning has more mass. So if you come in a situation where Lightning slows down and you ram him in the ass with a Yak or BF-109, most likely the Lightning will survive and you will get owned if you are in those two planes. Of course, the vice versa on the Lightning situation. So if you slow down and there's a Lightning behind, worst case scenario, the Lightning will just have to ram you, take some health damage, and he will fly past you. This is like, you just blow up, and that's no cool. Lightning pilot doesn't get a kill, but he still kills you and you're still dead. Whereas if you are the Tailor and the Lightning slows down and you ram him, the Lightning might crash from the impact if he can't get the plane back to control. Of course that might happen, but most of the time it could be that the Lightning simply survives and flies by. So as a Yak or BF pilot, try to avoid slowing down against the enemy unless you are not behind him. Of course that's a good situation if you're side by side. Slowing down as an actually very good option there. And again, APC are out, so I'm gonna pull back, and I will again assume he's coming back to the plane. There we also saw the part where we were going face to face, and that was a really easy kill. He had all the advantages. He was higher above, so he shouldn't have lost that battle if he would have done it correctly. Again, we have a situation where I get really close. You saw how I didn't open fire. I could have actually shot him probably down from there, but I choose not to. I will rather go close to him. I will let my APCR reload in time. I have no rush here. He can't do anything here. This is a situation where BF pilots are the worst situation. You basically have to go kinda around the trees and hope for the best. Maybe the Lightning will follow you down to the trees and crash since you're a little bit smaller plane, but there you go, he snaps in the tree. Nothing he can do there. I don't actually get this kill as he just crashes the plane before the burning damage can do his work. But it's okay, we still got him down. One less ticket on the stage battle zone. ATs, one less. And there we go, 6-1. We got now, what, 4 kills in the air already? This is a good start. Although the one death is of course miserable. Usually you should get 0 deaths, of course. Only spend the plane you spawn. It happens, of course, mistakes come. I will die one more time on this battle. It's unfortunate, but it will happen, and it's completely my fault also. But here again we are waiting for the plane. We're not engaging the ground targets because simply, or the well, in this case there is no enemy paraplane, but I see many times enemy getting frustrated in the combat because you're losing, so you instead of fight here. There you go, now we see him behind us. So we pull back again, and now we point the tip of the wing. Point the tip of the wing against the enemy. This way you give very small combat area, and this is only available against APCR. So remember, again, against AP and APCR actually. So do not do these kind of maneuvers if you're against HE pilot, and it's usually better to start up with understanding which he is using. Most pilots do use HE, especially the ones who don't really appreciate the power of the APCR. And there you go, you saw him beautifully dodging that. He went for a loop and slowed down and basically stalled out. I did the same, but I turned to the wrong way, so I actually lost him there. I know that he's going that way, and I know I'm faster, so there's no way he can escape me on just outrunning me. But I little lost him there. Oh, there you go, he's on the strictly in front of me, turning left there, you can see. Now I'm actually spotting it myself. going after him. Again, he should have turned straight at me, but he did it a little bit too slow, so I did get, again, advantage here. And there you go, he's turning left hard, so he's going vertically left, whereas I go going more upwards, almost stalling my plane intentionally there, so I can get that like higher altitude situation. Maybe he lost in sight of me or something similar. He was completely clueless where I was, so I got an easy attack on the rear again. He was trying to shoot a power plane down, hopefully getting some XP before I get him, but it didn't happen this time. I'm not 100% sure how good this player is, but he seems to know basics, and like I've never seen poor or completely new players going between the trees. They seem like a little bad thing to do for a new player, so this can't be a total beginner. And he seems to be pretty decent. I guess it's for the fact that he killed me once, I don't know. So again, nose pointing towards D1, as he's most likely spawned from there. We don't want the situation to give him the tail freely, even though he has like surprised me 3 times in a row, which is a very good job. The lightning has those nasty white stripes, which makes it a little bit easier to spot. You would think the bright yellow German engine would show well, but that's not the case in these foggy weathers. But it's a tough plane to spot, and that's the most important part. Here, looking around all the time, no reason to engage the ground. Just look around, find the freaking plane. It must be somewhere. Maybe he went back to killing the our transport plane here. No, he's not here. Where in the hell is he? We should see him in a second. You see here, I'm flying pretty high. I'm trying to give up some ground. Oh, there he is. I'm trying to give up some ground so I can actually like do maneuvers. So never fly on the ground level if you don't have to. Of course, sometimes you have to dodge on the ground level, and then you're in trouble if somebody gets you from above. But here I have plenty of space to maneuver. We can do circles for a day and we still don't hit the ground. So it's a good scenario for us, and there he comes up with a mistake. Again, same thing for BF-109s as is for Lightning. Always dodge downwards if the enemy is far away. You get speed, you can dodge the shots, and do, especially against Lightnings and Yaks, do radical movements. All the guns are centered, so they have to hit you. If one hits, everything hits. So you just need to dodge all of them. Against BF-109, usually you just have to tank it, because only 1 round will hit. Or 2 rounds, depending on how the shots come across. Of course, the MGs don't do nearly enough damage, but it's fine. Big thing to know with the planes, of course, is that the fire rate of fire is actually same on all planes, no matter the gun. And it's not the gun based, but it's actually the combination of the gun based. So Lightning has 4 50 cals, whereas the BF-109 got actually 2, but both things actually throw out bullets the same speed. So basically the BF-109 shoots bullets twice as fast as the Lightning, whereas the same applies for the cannons. Lightning has 1 cannon, BF-109 has 2. Thus, the Lightning shoots twice as fast. This was part 1. Thank you for watching. Leave a comment below or to the forums on Heroes and Generals.